All right, let's talk about something that's going to affect every single one of us. Starting April 1st, 2026, the way we deal with our trash here in India is about to get a major overhaul. There's a new set of government rules coming, and in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what they are, what they really mean for you, and how you can easily get on board.
So, here's what we'll cover. First up, we'll look at our growing waste problem to understand why these rules are even necessary. Then, we'll dive into the government's new plan and what you're now expected to do. We'll also be real about the challenges of actually doing this stuff, explore a pretty smart solution, and wrap up with how you play a part in a cleaner India.
So let's set the stage. Why the big change now? Well, it all comes down to a problem that's simple to understand, but absolutely massive in scale.
I mean, think about it. Our country is growing like crazy. Our cities are expanding. And all of that means one thing for sure: more and more trash. The amount of waste we're producing is just skyrocketing. And our current systems, well, they're drowning. It's pretty clear the old way of just throwing things away isn't going to cut it anymore.
Okay, so facing this growing crisis, the government decided to step in with a serious, nationwide response. So let's get into what these new rules are all about. What we're talking about are the Solid Waste Management Rules 2026. These completely replace the older rules from 2016, and trust me, they are much stricter. The whole idea behind them can be boiled down to one single word: accountability. From now on, anyone who creates waste is legally responsible for managing it the right way.
And listen, when they say everyone, they mean everyone. It doesn't matter if you're in a tiny village or a massive city, a small house or a huge office building. These rules apply to you. No exceptions.
All right, so this is where the rubber meets the road. What does this actually mean for your day-to-day life? This is the most critical part. So let's break down your new duties. The biggest, number one change for all of us is that sorting our waste at home is now mandatory. We have to separate it into 4 different categories. You've got your wet waste, which is all your kitchen scraps, then dry waste, for things like plastic, paper, and glass. Then there's a separate category for sanitary waste, like diapers and pads. And finally, special care waste for things like old batteries, expired medicines, or paint cans.
And it doesn't stop with just sorting. There are a few other key things you need to know. You've got to wrap sanitary items securely now. And all that stuff like just throwing trash on the street, burning it, or burying it, strictly illegal now. Oh, and one more big thing. We'll all have to start paying a user fee to help cover the cost of proper waste collection and management services.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Wow, that sounds like a lot of work. And you're not wrong. So it's important we talk about the practical, real-world side of all this.
Let's be real for a second. This is a huge shift in our daily habits. Trying to remember which piece of trash goes into which of the 4 bins, especially when you're busy, it can be confusing and, frankly, a bit of a headache. It really requires a whole new level of focus on what we use and what we throw away.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question, right? How can we possibly manage all this every single day and make sure we're actually following the law without it becoming a huge daily stress?
Well, thankfully, this is where a little bit of modern innovation can come to the rescue. Let's take a look at how technology is stepping in to bridge that gap between these strict new rules and our busy lives.
So, check this out. One great example is an app called Green3r. It's been designed specifically to help people like you and me deal with these new rules by making the whole process way easier and maybe even rewarding. It's basically a tool for this new era of waste management.
And the process is designed to be super simple. You just download the app and register, which takes like a minute. Then you sort your waste and get it ready for your daily scheduled pickup. The cool part is, it has this system where you get rewarded with points and badges for being consistent. And the features inside an app like this are pretty smart. They're built to solve the very problems we just talked about. You've got things like in-app guides to remind you how to sort, you can track the collection truck in real time, and schedule everything. The whole point is to turn a chore into something organized and clear.
So ultimately, the big idea behind platforms like Green3r is to use a little positive reinforcement. Instead of this just being a legal duty you have to do, it becomes an incentivized habit. It kind of gamifies the process to encourage you to stick with it and actually help clean up your city.
And this brings us to our final and maybe the most important section of all. Let's talk about your role in this whole nationwide movement.
Look, the government has set a new standard. And yeah, it does require more from us. But the good news is, we're not being left to just figure it out on our own.
New tools and platforms are popping up to empower us, making it so much easier to turn these legal rules into positive daily actions.
You know, there's this great way to think about it. Cleaner cities start at your doorstep. This huge transformation of our country's environment, it doesn't begin in some far-off government office. It begins in our homes, with the small choices we make every single day.
So, there you have it. The new rules are here. The tools to help us follow them exist. The only question left really is, are you ready to play your part?